We live in the 6th richest country in the world. Yet in today's Britain, 1 in 3 children live under the poverty line.
This is the biggest room out of the house, and this is where me, my baby brother, my mum and my dad sleep.
If you're one of them, you can be blighted by the consequences of poverty.
Jungle! Jungle!
Just tell us how often you do what you just do.
Every single day.
You'll have to avoid the temptations of a quick fix.
There's a lot of bad things in Portugal. Drugs, crime, alcohol.
I know you love it, don't you?
Being trapped in an endless cycle of deprivation, you can end up looking after your mother.
I've been through a lot with my mum. We've had similar things happen to us. We struggle, we help each other.
What would she do without you, though?
I haven't got a clue. I don't really know.
Or have a dad who works so hard to secure your future that you rarely see him.
When my dad's away for a long time, I feel really upset. My baby brother, he can't stand it. He just starts crying.
In a society driven by money, what's it like growing up skint?
This is my pocket money.
How much pocket money do you get?
Ours should be the first generation to end child poverty forever.
The only Britain that can genuinely be considered fair for all is a Britain where, once and for all, we have lifted the shame of child poverty.
6 years, the number of children living in relative poverty has increased.
The number of people living on low incomes has remained largely unchanged since the early 90s.
I believe we can afford to invest much more. We're the 4th richest country in the world.
Britain may be near the top of the world's rich list, but compared to other affluent countries, we have one of the worst records when it comes to children living in poverty. And at the bottom of the pile are Bangladeshi kids. 2/3 of them are growing up poor. The borough of Hackney, the poorest local authority area in England, is home to many of them, including 10-year-old Manisha Parvin.
This is my flat, and that's where I live. I live in a flat, a house with a big family.
She's part of the first generation of her Bangladeshi family to be born in Britain. Kids with her background don't often get a chance to tell their story, but she's convinced her whole family to take part in this film.
Can you say your name?
I've got a big brother called Abdul, and he's 13. Hi, I'm Abdul. And I've got a younger brother, which is older than my baby brother, which is 7 years old, and he goes to primary school, and my big brother goes to secondary school. This is my baby brother. This is my mum, and she wants us to learn a lot and to be good at studying and being what we want to be and study what we want to be as well.
Going shopping, she's carry and everything, going doctor, and she's speaking, I know speaking little bit, everything she's helped me.
Munisha's been living here with her family for 7 years. A flat designed for 4 is home to double that. 3 generations live under one roof.
I love it. I love it. It's just a big family, which I love, and they love me, and we treat each other really nicely. This is the biggest room out of the house, and this is where me, my baby brother, my mum and my dad sleep. This big thing up here is something to do with our Muslim cultural thing, to keep bad, evil things away from our house. This is my big brother's room. When my dad's here, he sleeps with my nan and my auntie, and my medium brother sleeps with my nan and my auntie as well, when there's space. This is my clothes drawer. It's very messy, but the good ones are in the wash. This is one of my best tops that my dad bought me a while ago. I don't get new clothes that often because we don't have the money to buy it, and my dad's got a lot of things to do, and my mum doesn't earn that much money because she doesn't work. This is another dress I like, but it's gone too small for me. This is my pocket money. I wasted all of it already.
How much pocket money do you get?
Do you know what being poor means?
Not really. I've never been through the word poor, but I've seen people in Bangladesh that are poor, and well, it's really hard to live when you're poor, and you have to try your best to get along.
Although Manisha may not face the daily struggle for life that she witnessed in Bangladesh, she's still amongst the poorest kids in Britain. The government sets the poverty line for a family of her size at just under £350 a week, but her parents' income is less than £200. Her father Abdul believes education is the key to escaping poverty. He wants her to be a doctor.
I want true education to Manisha. I'm serious. Manisha is serious as well for education. That's why I like her. But she's not good in the education. I don't like her. She's good, then I like her. I give to my heart.
Oh, yes.
My dad told me to be a doctor. So really, I do want to be a doctor, and I will be a doctor. So that's really my future job.
At present, though, Abdul is the only breadwinner.
I'm going to work.
And where is that?
Is it Clacton? Clacton on Sea. It's 70 miles from London.
He goes 6 days a week, yeah, and he tries his best to get a lot of money, but I don't know how much he earns.
Abdul is a chef in a curry house, and his wage of £100 a week is not sufficient to support his family. They also rely on child benefit, working tax benefits, and a rent rebate to keep them going. But they're paying a much heavier price at the moment, the absence of a father. He spends 6 days and nights in Clacton because he can't afford to drive back and forth.
When my dad's away for a long time, I feel really upset because most of the time when he's in, he takes us out everywhere and everything. And right now it's just our mum, and she's got a lot of work to do. She can't really take us out a lot. I understand why he has to go though.
Is it hard leaving your kids all the time?
Yes, it's really hard, but what can I do? I need to work, I need the money.
If I'm not working, I can't afford the Manisha clothes and Manisha pen, paper for education is need for computer. No, I'm going to work.
My baby brother, he can't stand it. He just starts crying. Thank you, Umada. He won't even let him go.
Come on, I'm coming back. I'm going to work.
I'm thinking sometime something else, but I don't find any easier job or good job or good money this way. I have no choice.
Children from disadvantaged families may be lagging a full year behind.
Children from Pakistani and Bangladeshi families, poverty risk is 67% compared to 25% of white children.
Often they have English as a second language and are from families where one or both parents are out of work.
52% of girls from a Bangladeshi background leave school with no qualification.
It all very much depends on factors which are beyond their control.
Abdul doesn't want Manisha to underachieve. He can't afford to pay for extra tuition. Instead, he sends her to a homework club in the local church hall, which is free.
Have you got homework? Yeah. You carry on with your homework, you'll get some help.
I like the people there, and I love have the teacher there.
Homework Club was started through the Bangladeshi Cultural Association, and lots of the children have difficulty doing their homework because the parents don't speak enough English to help them.
They give me hard work and I find it easy because my dad gets me books and books and books. My dad got me Year 7 book, Year 8 book and Year 9 book already.
What year are you in at school?
Right now I'm in Year 6.
Don't always get the opportunity for creative play at home because there isn't much space. And I think parents tend to feel that play is a waste of time and they need to have a pencil and paper in their hand if they're using their time properly. She's a very lively girl and she likes to do well, she likes to do her best. She's quite competitive as well. Manisha. I think you ought to get an extra mark for pointing one out.
One of my friends' house on the second floor. Up on the second floor with all those cages. They've got hens and everything.
What, in a flat?
Yeah, up there in that balcony on the second floor. Don't take the shot.
Unlike her Bangladeshi friends, Manisha is allowed out to play with the other children on her council estate. But there aren't enough facilities to go round, so the bigger, stronger kids win out.
Sometimes they come out and they bully you about, and they say that all thing they're bigger than us, and like, they say like we're not supposed to come here and that's their property and everything. Really, that's not their property, and whenever we go there to play, they always come and take the balls off us and run away. This is Lauren. Lauren lives up on that flat. This is Daisy. That's Vicky, Sydney and Bex. I normally ride my bike. We sometimes do clapping games or we play football. We just do acting and dancing and riding our bikes or stuff. Yeah. When we're bored and we've got nothing to do, we just do anything we want. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it would never work. Yeah, childish. Childish.
That we find ourselves in a country in which your life chances are still framed by your background rather than by your ability.
Is that there is a very, very strong link between poverty and outcomes for children.
We didn't expect child poverty actually to increase last year, and it now looks...
If we want to solve crime, for example, invest in getting children out of poverty.
Welcome to the jungle. A notorious area of Postle Park, one of Glasgow's poorest neighbourhoods. And this is a typical night's entertainment.
Jungle! Jungle! Jungle fucking bye!
The police are not welcome and seem reluctant to interfere.
Dr. Only screws.
Wat deuren is in, ik ga niet bij ons tussen als op. Ze don't give a fuck up here.
Yeah?
Shooting them off for a buzz. Day all the time when it comes up to bonfire now.
This is the hidden cost of growing up skint. So-called Neds, non-educated delinquents, roaming the streets causing chaos.
These streets are full of rubbish, nothing to do. We just walk a bit all day and do nothing.
What do all the people think of you around here, all the neighbours?
They think that we're hairies.
We Neds.
Most of these kids have grown up on one of Scotland's most dangerous estates, where unemployment has led to social breakdown with high rates of violent crime, alcoholism and drug addiction.
That's just a normal day in the jungle.
Daylight brings peace to Postle Park. 14-year-old Matthew O'Donnell has lived here all his life. His friend Peter Connaughton lives in neighbouring Rook Hill, another deprived part of Glasgow. The jungle gets its name from the vast swathes of wasteland that were left when tower blocks were demolished in the 80s. Joined by their mate Joe, they venture into a part of the jungle where a lot of the kids like to disappear and have fun.
This is where people my age, right, will go in there and smoke and drink and do whatever they do. Right there used to be a school, and right across from there is my house. This is partly the reason why it gets called a jungle, as you can look.
Like 1 in 4 children in Scotland, Matthew lives in a lone parent family. He lives with his mum, who doesn't work, and they too survive on benefits. He's the youngest of 3 sons and last to leave home.
If you're tipping here. Yeah, it's actually quite disgusting.
Peter's also from a broken home and lives with his grandparents. They provide for him out of their pension.
I must be a casual campfire they had. A wee sing song. It's just like people come, drink, smoke.
Have a buzz, probably, I know.
Nah, I don't have a buzz.
I know.
Smoke and drink.
Aye. Oh, that must be the buzz they have.
Do it when they're still.
It's not just the smoking and drinking that's a problem for Peter and Matthew. Boys of their age normally join gangs.
There's YPF, which is a young postal fleeter, right? And like there's others. If you stay in Rockall, it'll be Rockall boys. If you stay in Springburn, it'll be Springburn Peg, whatever, because that's where you stay. But I don't bother with it, do you know what I mean? It's like a bit like dogs. They do the toilet there, they don't expect you to go anywhere near that. There's that big main road going up and down the way. Right up there there's a bridge, and that's a territorial line for like Postal and Springburn. If you're older, they'll all go like, oh, there's somebody for Postal, charge them, and they'll charge you. But like if it's because like they just get to know your face, because like up there, up next to my house, there's a big grass bit, and everybody just fights there, Postal and Springburn, and Wester Common, and that back up Postal. Why? Territorial.
YJB stands for Young Jungle Boys, the name of the gang that dominates this estate. They leave their tag everywhere to remind people of their presence. At 14, Matthew is at the age when he could join their ranks, but he's decided it's not for him.
So I don't really hang about with the main people that actually call themselves Jungle Boys and that. That's we just don't, we aren't interested in all that stuff. You want to be able to go places. I mean I was younger, right? We used to always go up to Springburn swimming all the time. We all used to swim there, and it was a laugh, it was brilliant. And then not one person will go near that because they're too scared in case they get jumped or anything. Leave my mic. There is danger, definitely. Especially at night time. During the day not so much, but it's night time and the weekends. That's when it's kicking about, and that's when you need to watch for.
A murder inquiry has been launched after a teenager was fatally injured in Glasgow.
There's a lot of families lost their kids through violence.
The 18-year-old was found in the Postle area in the early hours of this morning. He was taken to the city's road.
Absolutely devastated how anybody could commit such a brutal attack.
It's the reality of what we see on a day-to-day basis, unfortunately.
There's a clear link between poverty and crime here. But every Friday night, there is a place the kids can go for some harmless entertainment. Much of the violence and fighting is fueled by alcohol. Postle Point Youth Club has a no drinking and smoking policy, and even the fizzy drinks get checked at the door.
Yeah, you worry. Cheers.
But you know, because it's after 7, you start coming back in, didn't you?
The club runs till 9, but if you leave any time after 7, you can't get back in.
Back next Friday, bye! In the past, we've had young people coming in at the club who are fine, and then they've left, come back 20 minutes later, either drunk, maybe under the influence of drugs or whatever, so we just have that rule to keep everybody safe. If they leave the building, they can't come back in.
Youth worker Danny Waddell has to check the toilets every night because some kids stash alcohol and drugs here.
Where are the kind of places they'd hide in? Sometimes in these wee bins, or in the wee toilet brush things. Just anywhere, basically, nobody will see it.
I was born and bred in Postle Park, and I think maybe 10, 15 years ago there wasn't as many dangers for the young people. There's loads of unemployment, loads of the young people we've got in today, maybe their parents, or these people in the working. That definitely has an effect on young people. It had an effect on me when I was young, and I went kind of down the wrong road.
I say the majority of people are doing it. More than what people don't like thinking that.
Poverty isn't just about being skint. It's about not having decent facilities and fun places to go. Postle Point Youth Club can only afford to open on Fridays. The rest of the week, the streets are the only place to hang out. But for Matthew and Peter, poverty is something that exists elsewhere.
I would say poverty is when, like, the government that you live in hasn't got enough money and they can't distribute it between every little need that everything needs. Some parts of Africa, like Sudan and like Zimbabwe and like the rural areas.
See the adverts and all that for children needing all that, and the wee veins, they'll be sitting and they'll have nothing, they'll have their big fat bellies and all that. So that's what poverty is. That there, they've got nothing, they just need water or nothing. We need to try and do charities and all that just to be able to help them.
If there's something been half developed and it's been left just to like rot, that would hint to me there's slight poverty around here. But I might be wrong, I might be right.
Would you consider where you live, or would you consider yourself poor?
No, what do you think I'm poor?
We're already taking nearly 1 million children out of poverty.
The UK still has the highest teenage pregnancy rate in Western Europe. It's a particular problem in poor areas. In inner cities, 1 in 10 girls become pregnant while still teenagers.
That no child should grow up with endemic poverty common in the household, because we know that poor children in the main become poor adults.
Oh dear, I'm ready for this, I can tell you.
This is Kelly King. She's a teenage mum. Like her mother Carol, she had a baby at 18 and now has 9-month-old Keely. Her partner Daz is a plasterer, but his work isn't regular and they survive on a small and unpredictable income. To make matters worse, they've spent most of their savings on a wedding, but after falling out, they've cancelled it.
I even wrote all the wedding invitations out. Oh dear, it all costs money. That's all that money wasted. My wedding dress, the bridesmaids' dresses, my shoes, my food. How much you lost altogether then? Well, my dress 150. Yeah. Bridesmaids' dresses were 40 quid. Yeah. So that's 190. Food? Foods that were about 150 quid. What, you paid it all? Yeah. And you're not getting a penny back? No. Oh well. Never mind. Shit happens.
With little money coming in, a £400 cancelled wedding represents an enormous hit to her income. Yet Kelly's kept the dress in case Daz proposes again.
Little sequins on the side. That was in the sale. It had come down, right down from £600 to 150. And you can't grumble at that, so I went and bought it.
But it's not just losing the money that worries Kelly. It's also the stigma of being an unmarried mum.
I used to get picked on because my mum and dad was never married and they wasn't together when I was at school. I was always picked on for that. I don't know why, but it's just these people that have got the mum and dad together and they are married. And it'd just been nice for Keely to say, yeah, my mum and dad's still together and they're married. So, one day, hopefully.
It's often the case that children of lone parents become lone parents themselves. And Carol's struggles with men have had a profound effect on Kelly.
I want me to do it. I've been through a lot with my mum. I don't know why, but I've been scared of men. I'm always in my shell. I don't talk up. I've never been able to talk up. And it makes it a lot harder because obviously a lot of people walk over you if you don't talk up. I mean, people's walked all over me because of the person I am. But I've become a lot harder and a lot tougher.
Kelly's sister Hayley will have to toughen up too. At 37, her mum has 5 children from 3 different relationships. And 8 weeks ago, she broke up with Hayley's father after an alleged violent confrontation.
My partner smashed a glass over my head. Hayley witnessed everything. Because she got up, because he was shouting, and she witnessed everything that went off that evening.
Dad threw glass at Mum when she was near my seat. She was near the door and Dad threw glass at her and all blood come down and she phoned Kelly up.
She always mentions it. My daddy smashed a glass over your head. Yeah.
And Dad's come round and kicked my daddy and all blood come down his face.
I went to the council and explained what had happened and everything, and they put me in temporary accommodation.
Over the last 8 weeks, Carol, Hayley and little brother Jack have been moved 3 times by the council.
Hayley, come here. Let that woman by.
Kelly is helping them settle into another new home.
We moved.
But there could be more moves on the horizon. The council have told them it could take 9 months to find them a permanent place.
This is mine. And that's my baby Jack's. And that's a toilet again.
Everybody says that a child should have stability in its life, and I really do agree with that, rather than being moved from place to place, and it's just a nightmare. It really is a nightmare. Come on, stop bouncing on the bed.
Stop bouncing on the bed, Hayley.
Hayley, stop bouncing on the bed.
Kids like Hayley often end up being shunted around like this. Her mum doesn't work and has no savings, so they live on £220 a week benefits.
£100 a week short of the government's own poverty level. Nobody can survive on that money.
We have one of the lowest rates of single parents in work in Europe.
Living in a workless family like that is much more likely to mean that child is living in poverty.
We need to make sure that we are taking even more people off benefit and into work.
1 in 7 children are in families where no one's working. That's the highest level in Europe.
Both Carol and Kelly would like to get work, but the only jobs which would allow them to look after their kids and therefore save on expensive childcare are low-skilled and low-paid. There's no incentive to get off benefits, and they're trapped in a cycle that leaves them below the official poverty line.
They always say you're worse off when you work, and it's true. And look at me and Daz, for instance, we're not better off when he's working. Council tax £1,000.
Yeah.
If you go in private, it's up to £90 a week.
Yeah.
And then you've got your gas, your electric, your food, your water.
You've got all the bills to consider too. The thing is, I found as well, I've known mums who have worked before, and I know they don't spend any time with their children.
And the children are paying them for.
I know somebody said to me, you know, people have stood back and gone, "What? You know that about your child? You know that?" I said, "Yes, I know all my children, everything. I know how they're feeling. I know what favourite colours they like, everything they like. I know everything about my kids, and that makes you proud as a mum. So I'm a bit split between you two at the moment.
You was
know?
a home mum with us, and I still got a job at 12-year-old. Yeah, just because my mum sat at home didn't mean that I had to. I knew that I didn't have to, and I went out and got a job.
Do you feel differently now you've got Keely, though, about working?
Yes, I do. I feel like I want to go out to work because obviously I want to earn the money, but I don't want to go out to work because I had Keely, so she's mine. I have to look after her, basically.